What's up guys, Tommie Bennett here, and today we're gonna switch it up a little bit. You guys have been asking a lot of information about who I am and how I become a coach and a little bit more of like the background on me. So I got my girlfriend here, Natalie, is gonna be asking me a whole bunch of questions. So let's see how this goes. I hope it doesn't get too awkward. So one of the moments that really defined who I am today is when I was 17 years old, I broke my back. Now, after breaking my back, I had this fear that I was gonna be paralyzed, and I really had to come back from this moment of like hitting a 5-foot jump is terrifying to figuring out how to be a better snowboarder in a way that is safe, in a way that is effective, so I can learn tricks faster without completely getting broke off. So because I broke my back, it's really changed my whole mindset on coaching and my own personal riding. And that's where I come in to my coaching these days is a lot more about how can we just learn how to snowboard better and faster and safer. So really when I was 17 years old, breaking my back has completely changed my life. And obviously like I'm hyped that it happened because it led me here today talking to you guys. So the question is, what were my snowboarding goals and how have they changed? So when I was younger, I really wanted to be a professional athlete. I wanted to be sponsored, I wanted to go to X Games, I wanted to compete, and I wanted to be the best snowboarder that I could be, and I wanted to be as well-rounded as possible. Now, after going through my back injury and really evaluating my situation, I really had to I came to a conclusion that I don't want to risk my body for that glory anymore. I love snowboarding and I want to get better, but I want to do it on my terms and not just to keep up with the competition scene. So my goals these days is to help as many snowboarders have like the most amazing experience snowboarding, inspire them to get better and find a safer way for them to progress. So that's kind of like my goal is to like use my platform, like the Instagram or the YouTube platform, to help as many snowboarders as possible, because I know how amazing snowboarding can be and I want to expose people to that and just love snowboarding more than they ever have. Well, honestly, I think like one of my biggest insecurities or like challenges with snowboarding is like I go into the snowboard park and I still like question if I'm good enough, and I feel like there's an expectation to ride at a certain level, and I know that I can, but I sometimes just get like a little like insecure in my own riding and knowing that like can I still do it? You know, it's like, I don't know, it's like weird because I ride a lot, I ride every day, but I still feel that there's times where I question my own abilities. And then what was the second part of that?
How do you overcome that?
How do I overcome that? I think overcoming that, like I kind of do two things about it. The first thing would simply be, it doesn't matter if people are watching or not, because I'm here to snowboard for me, and not in a selfish way, but like I just want to go have fun. Like I just want to go snowboard for me and enjoy snowboarding. And if I can think like that, then I ride a lot better. If I'm thinking about everybody's watching me and there's expectations to kill it, then I do get nervous and I get tense and I don't perform the same. But if I can think about like, I just want to have fun and I am not worried about what people are thinking, then I perform a lot better. Like I ride a lot better just not really caring what other people think and just being in a better position where I can ride to my own ability, and I do that when ride to the best of my ability, and I do that when I'm just like having fun.
How do you have fun?
I don't have fun.
Yeah, how do you make it fun?
I think I make snowboarding fun by trying to think outside of the box and just try to do something different or try to add my own flair to it. But another big thing is just riding with a good crew. That's fun. Like the whole energy of everybody coming together and we're like bantering and having fun and high-fiving and the vibe is positive, then it's really easy to have a good time because everyone's having a good time. You just want to like do that. And then there is a little bit of a competition feel sometimes where somebody does something and then I want to just outperform them a little bit and then they'll outperform me, and then it's like this back and forth and that. So it's either being like super creative or riding with like really fun people, and then I really feed off that energy of like other people's energy. And sometimes like, yeah, I have to bring that energy forward to like help create that vibe, but then like I'm a very social rider. I love riding with people. I rarely ever ride by myself.
Do you have any intentions of competing again?
No, I don't have any intentions of competing again, just because I love what I'm doing right now, which is creating content and just having fun, like just snowboarding. I don't have to prove anything except for to myself, and it's trying to, like I have some goals that I want to achieve this season, but at the same time, that's for me, and if people are watching, cool. If people are not watching, like it doesn't matter, because it's still about like my own riding is progressing a little bit further, and competing, I just want to do it for like the soul of snowboarding. But I love competitions. I love coaching at competitions, but for me, I just want to go snowboard. Does that make sense?
What is your favorite mountain to ride at?
Like I have 3 mountains that are like on the top of my list. Number 1 has to be Whistler, because it's like the biggest mountain ever, and I've gone there where it's like in 5 days it got 6 feet of snow, so it was like holy cow, but they could actually handle the snow because it's so steep, and there's so much to explore. I could go there 100 days and still have no idea like where I'm going, in a good way, because there's so much terrain that there's so much to explore, and that exploration is fun. It's an adventure. Then Vail is really sick because it's like my home mountain, and I just know it so well that there's all the sneaky little like secret spots that I know that I can know what I'm getting into, and that's fun. And then I really love Copper because their park's insane. It's super progressive, it's a fast lapping system, and it's just a really sick place to be. So I've been like really hyped on those 3 mountains are like my jams, but obviously for like their own reasons.
Explain like your achievements.
So some of my accomplishments as a coach, really like it really kind of started before that, because I was a competitive athlete and I rode for a couple different companies, and then I was able to travel and compete in like the US Open and in New Zealand Open. So I was able to really like achieve some really cool things in competition realm, and then I got hurt, and then I transitioned into how can I be the best educator as possible. So I was able to achieve my AASI Cert 1, 2, and 3 in 1 year, and I guess that like hasn't really been done. So that was like a time in my life where I was able to have the advantage of like being a competitive athlete, but then having an amazing support system around me to like help get me to understand the nerd. So I was able to achieve the Cert 1, 2, and 3 in 1 year. And then after that, I got my children's specialist, I got my ASI Freestyle 3, and then I got RMT. I had failed it the first time, and it was like the best thing ever, because I was able to learn like from my failure, and then it came back the next year and I was able to get RMT. And then I have my coaching cert 200, and then I've I've worked with athletes at Grand Prix and Junior Worlds and a bunch of kids at USASA national levels. So I've been able to do a lot of the education stuff, my own competitive riding and being sponsored, and then I've helped athletes like get their ways to Grand Prix and Junior Worlds and those kind of events. So essentially, like I was able to get like a doctorate in snowboarding, where I was able to learn how snowboarding works, as well as how to get that information across. And that's probably been the most exciting part, is that I have all this knowledge in my head. Now I've been trained on how to get that information out to as many people as possible and speak in an effective and efficient way. So that whole like going to school for snowboarding has actually been really sick, and has been like such an advantage on how to help people. And that's like my whole goal, and my whole mission or career is helping other snowboarders become better at snowboarding.
What sets you apart? What makes you a good coach? What sets you apart from other coaches out there?
I think one thing that helps me kind of separate myself from some of the other coaches is the ability to actually ride and have experienced those tricks. I've also experienced, how to learn the trick as well as executing the trick, so I can have all these little tricks and tips because I've done it. And I think that's a very helpful thing for my athletes, because I know what worked for me. The other thing is I've coached a lot of these tricks, and I know how certain tricks will work for certain people and certain body types. So I have a lot of experience of doing it and coaching it. And so I can help more people because I've had a lot of experience actually teaching those things. Yeah, I think working with like teenagers and being able to relate to them and get that information across to them is a really cool thing. But like when it comes down to it, like I love snowboarding, but I love coaching snowboarding. I'm super passionate about getting the information across, and how can I do that in a fast way, but how can I do that in a safe way? I want to try to find the balance of the absolute fastest progression without being reckless. And I think that is the balance that I'm finding through the experience of me breaking my back and coaching lots of athletes, is we want to accelerate your learning curve as fast as possible, but not be reckless. So instead of just trying a trick, I'm going to break it down into 10 steps so that it's easier, and then it's consumable, and it can go from step 1 to 2 to 3 is like you're building those skills as you go, and you're not just hoping to land it. If that makes sense.
What do you feel like is one of the most common tips or
I think one of the biggest things that people are missing, and one of the biggest things that I'm trying to get across to as many people as possible, is simply talking about alignment. So I like to go to the gym, I like to work out, and when you have a bar on your back and you squat, well, if I'm in this weird twisted position, it's gonna be really hard to squat. And that twisted position is the natural feeling when you're snowboarding. Essentially, you perceive the world this way, and then you rotate, even though we're sliding sideways, and it compromises your body positions. So I would say the most important thing is working on your alignment and being in a stacked position, so your shoulders, hips, and knees are stacked on top of the board. And of course, I don't want you to be robotic and only stay here, but you gotta understand that this is your strongest point. So I wanna land in this position, and if I can land in this position, I'm gonna have a better chance of landing more tricks, a higher percentage of success by landing in a stronger position. And then of course, we gotta use our body and spin different ways, but being in alignment is the number one thing that's gonna help the most amount of people. And that's just starting the fundamentals and building from there.
What is a life philosophy you adhere to that has made a difference for you and has inspired others?
So one of my biggest philosophies in life is to have fun and love what you do. I wanted to have a job and a career where every day I wake up and I'm stoked to do it. And I think that's been so valuable, because when I message people or when people message me on Instagram, or when people hit me up about questions, or my athletes want help, I'm so inclined to help them because I love helping people and I love coaching snowboarding. So it's not a bad thing. It's I am excited to go do that, but it all stemmed from I want to enjoy life and I want to love my career. And I think I've really found my little place in the world of helping people and being happy for my own riding.
What is your future with snowboarding?
Well, my future with snowboarding is trying to do it until I die. So hopefully I don't die too early. The future of snowboarding for me, I want to create one of the top competitive programs in the US. I want to have my own training facility where I can host camps and people can come to my land, and I can teach you how to snowboard better and have rope toes and just have the most effective and efficient training systems in place so I can help people get better faster. So that's my vision, is to provide just the best product out there for getting people good at snowboarding. And that can be competitive athletes or people that just want to get better. But I will be snowboarding until I die.
How did you get into snowboarding?
So when I was 4 years old, my dad had me learn how to ski. But then I really got into snowboarding when I was 8 years old. My brother had started snowboarding a year before, and I wanted to be cool like my brother, so I just wanted to do what he did. So I tried snowboarding when I was 8 and then absolutely fell in love with it. And I think one of the sickest things about snowboarding when I was younger is my dad would just drop off me and my brother, and we would go snowboard, and they would give us a cell phone and say, well, if you get hurt, give us a call. And then literally the mountain would babysit us. So me and my brother would just go snowboard together and just go try things and just go play around. And that was how I got into snowboarding, was just out of just because I wanted to do what my brother was doing. All right, so that's just a quick little interview that I put together for you. Thank you, Natalie, for being able to ask me those questions. And I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys have any other questions for me. I definitely would love to do this again. Also, I wanted to show you this real quick. So I also got some Killing It stickers. So if you guys are interested in any of these, they do help support the channel, as well as you can put them on your board. So you're gonna get them down in the description below.